welcome back to Us We Go Now segment of Voices. We're here with Sarah Rebior, the Vice President of Residence Life and Housing Assistant, and we're here to talk about the new systems for RA dining plans. So I understand that you have a new system going next semester, next year. Can you tell me a little bit about it?
Sure. Well, first, Kyle, thank you for inviting me on. So we have made some changes to our RA remuneration package for next year, starting in the fall of 24. And what RAs previously had, that you specifically asked me about, was an RA waiver for their meal plan. And we're making changes to that next year, in that we're giving them an RA scholarship that will be applied to their bill. So in the past, the meal waiver goes towards their meal plan. But what we found was that if you don't have a meal plan, you can't have a waiver put against that, right? So we wanted to look at remuneration packages from our RAs across the board and make sure that they were all being compensated at the same rate. So we looked at a number of SUNY schools, all the comprehensives, to see what they were offering their RAs and their packages, to see and make sure that we were offering a fair and competitive option for them, for our RAs here.
Thank you.
Sure.
So what were the factors that kind of led into changing from the waiver that you had before into the scholarships that you're doing now?
Yeah, actually it was the RAs brought it to my attention last semester and said, can you take a look at this meal plan where, we've seen some changes, and we'd like you to review it. And so we reviewed it. Like I said, I looked at all of the comprehensives across SUNY to see what they were offering. And our RAs already were receiving a free room waiver. So as part of being an RA, we provide them their own room because we know that they need that, whether they're meeting with a student or there's a student concern and they need to have some private space to be able to have those conversations. So they have a room to themselves. So they were already receiving that. And then they were also receiving the waiver, right, against their meal plan. But when I looked at it, what I found was the waiver amounts were kind of across the board based on the Oswego guarantee. So those waiver amounts for the meal plans changed based on the year that the student came in as a first-year student. So some of them had 1130 towards their meal plan. Some of them had 1240. And so I really wanted to make that consistent. The other piece was that our students, our RAs over in the village, our village community assistants, they're not required to have a meal plan because village residents are not. And so if they chose not to have a meal plan, we couldn't give them a waiver. So they were missing that part of their package, right? And so I really looked into what are our options for them. And we could have, some people were like, well, give us a stipend. But the challenge with the stipend is they get taxed. So they don't actually get that true amount. But by doing a scholarship, they can have the actual amount that's applied to their bill. And so they can apply that towards any charges with the exception of tuition towards their bill. And then we actually adjusted the amounts too. So a first-year RA will get $1,240 a semester. And then in their second year, they get an increase. And then the third year, they would get another increase, right? So it's also an incentive for our RAs to return to the position and really work on the community that they've developed with their residents and really invest in that.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I think we've learned a lot.
All right. You're very welcome.
Thank you for coming on.
Sure. Thanks for having me.